Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching from. Let's reanalyze our GBPUSD analysis of last week, Thursday and Friday. So, market already tapped us in. This is let's go to 4 hour time frame or 1 hour time frame to see. Go to 1 hour time frame. You can clearly see the daily structure is really, but currently, since here was the analysis and here is the trade. Market has already tapped us in on this trade. Market has already tapped us in on this trade. So this is liquidity. Buyers are liquidity. Market has grabbed this liquidity. And here is an OB with a fair value gap. Before creating all these break of structure. So back here, market has gotten here, tap it to read, and is rejecting. This is 4 hour time frame. If you actually looking for confirmations and you go to 15 minutes time frame, you will see even here on the 1 hour time frame, you will see that this is a high, this is a valid, there are 3 candles. 1, 2, 3. This is a valid low, a high, a low, a high. Market has taken out the low. So here we can, even on the 1 hour time frame, we can boldly say that here is a change of character. Network is bad, now bear with me. Here we can boldly say this is a change of character. So if this entry was an aggressive entry, because I just check and we can say Pata market will move back from here, or any grab this relative equal high liquidity, then still push back. But my analysis of it tell me once my strategy tells me that once market starts rejecting at my golden zone, I can enter. That is how my strategy works. This is my golden zone map out on the 4 hour time frame. Market got there, I was making rejection means okay, this area will hold, so I can just take it. Observing my normal risk, then put my stop loss above the overall high. So that is how my strategy. That is why I just went in on an aggressive entry because I know if it will not be able to monitor it. And lower below, this is now a change of character. If we were to look for entry now, sometimes on the higher time frame, why I do take this aggressive entry is I like to put my stop loss above the most recent valid high or valid low. If we decide to come and check the golden zone of the structure now, seems to be this is a high, this is a low. If you want to map out the golden zone of the structure here, now we'll be looking to take this entry from here. And if I take it entry from here, our stop loss will now be a little bit higher, because most of the times by backtesting, you can decide to put stop loss after change of character happen. You put stop loss here, and the market take you out and continue to your direction. I know at this point some persons will say, or some other strategy users will say that the risk to reward is more, even if it takes you out 3 times and it takes you out 7 times and you get to take 2 wins, it is way better. But for the sake of my psychology, I like to do it, because if you observe this one to here, this is now 4.6 risk to reward, while this one is just 3.1 risk to reward. And first TP, if you do first TP, it should be here 2 point something. Yeah, 2.1. That's where I always put my first TP. So second TP goes down. Anyhow. If you decide to observe this low, it should be like 5 point something. I know, but for the purpose of my psychology, this is how I can deal with it. Because I don't know if I can stand seeing 7 losses on the row. Before then, my head has shifted. Probably shifted. So suitably works like this, even if it's my strategy allows me to take 2 to 1. Once I'm 2 to 1, I'm out, because this trade I can actually, once you get here, I can close everything, because that is my normal allowed risk to reward by my strategy. 2 to 1. You can get here, I can close everything and just leave it. Anything that happens, let's start analyze another one again. I will not even wait for it's 2 to 1. That is my focus. So let's go back on the higher time frame and reanalyze this thing. Let's go to the daily time frame. Here on the daily time frame, you can decide to close here. So just clear this high. Let's clear this high so we can reanalyze it together. On the weekly time frame, the overall is bullish. Then on the monthly time frame, it is bearish. The overall structure is bearish on the monthly time frame. Yes, on the monthly time frame, overall structure is bearish. And here is a monthly goldie zone. Here is a monthly goldie zone. And on the weekly, that is where you can say overall is bullish. Following this is a low, this is very good. This current trend, you can see this is a high, a low, a high, a low, a higher high. Now, this is the weekly trend that brought this price to the monthly goldie zone. At the monthly goldie zone, we can always go to a daily time frame to look for a change of character. So we come to a daily time frame to look for a change of character. Here, on a daily time frame, this is a high, a low, a high. These look like a break of structure. Though, I did not call it a break of structure because the candles that form this retracement is not complete. See it very well. But another person can say it complete, but to me, where I observe my candles, I can say it's not complete. So I'm still observing it as a break of structure, because if you go a little bit lower, it now makes sense that okay, this is a change of character. Then we are waiting here. Market start pausing. This happened last week. This happened last week at this point. And on a daily time frame now, this is now our range from here to here. Market started pulling up a low, a high, a low. We can observe this structure on a 4-hour time frame. If we come to a 4-hour time frame to observe this structure properly, now we are coming to our trading time frame. This is where we do our analysis. I don't really do much on those bigger time frame. From daily, 4 hours, downward is what I'm focusing. So now you can see from here, market tap here, market has put in this a low, a high, a high, a low, a high, a low. So there's a possibility of market. Two things I did. First is this structure. There's an incomplete pullback, which is this. This is an incomplete pullback. The market put on its high. Market was supposed to come back here on my goldie zone before putting out another high. The market did not get to goldie zone, and they put up another high. To another goldie zone, market was supposed to come down and continue if it will continue. The market tapped into this zone and took out that low, which makes this 4-hour structure becomes a high, a low, a high, a low. Then again, market has finally gotten to this goldie zone that failed before, or market refused to get to before. Then we observe two bullish engulfing candles. Two things are also important to mention here. Number one, buyers can continue pulling this market up from here. That is why I like to take my 2-to-1 extra reward, because there's a possibility that market reject, do 50% of this move, 50 or 60% of it, and continue buying. Because on a more lower time frame, you can also see that when price finally got here, price gave a change of character. This is a high, a lower low, a break, a change of character. So market can come back here into this fair value gap. Let's zoom out and see it very well. Into this fair value gap and continue. Or market grab this liquidity. This is a high. On the lower time frame now, you see, is a high, a low, a high, a low. So this is liquidity. Market can come and grab it or continue. That is why my strategy allows me to do 2-to-1. Here it is. On a 4-hour time frame now, it's very clear. Market tap into this fair value gap, give us a strong bearish engulfing candle. Any other person can do 50% of this engulfing candle. I also have a strategy that does that, but do 50% of this place. Then your stop loss will now be here. Stop loss will be above this high. So it also works. It depends on if your psychology can handle it. It also works. Just target 2-to-1, which is here quick. It is possible. Market almost even got there before. Market almost got done on Friday. This one is. But my strategy says cover the overall. So this move on the 4-hour time frame, this is not a complete pullback. This is just a single candle. But on the 1 hour, it might be complete. On 15 minutes, it might be complete. So if I want to mark out my goldie zone, because this is now a structure coming down, I want to trade this structure. I want to mark out my goldie zone. I'm using the overall low, which is here. That is how this goldie zone come about. Then you come to this place, my goldie zone. Here is my goldie zone. Normally, if I'm getting a trade opportunity for 15 minutes time frame or sometimes 1 hour time frame, what I do is I put my entry here. This is where my entry normally be. My stop loss a little bit above here. But it seems to be this thing is be analyzed on a much higher time frame, which is 4 hours time frame. And this is GBP. It's a little bit volatile. This is 87 pips. I cannot handle it. If you check this move now, you see from there to here is just 2 to 1, 6 to 1, 2.1, 6 to 1. 2 chicken. That's how I do it. I'm going to keep myself. So once, if this was like 15 meters, once after noticing this rejection from me and this engulfing candle confirmation, I just take my entry from me and wait 2 to 1. I don't move anything. If you go, you go. If you don't go, leave it. But since this was a 4 hour time frame and the thing is a little bit kind of, that was why I put my entry, put my pen the other and the center so that my stop loss should be reduced. This is now 65. If you want, this is a string trade though. I said that before. Because I'm taking this one from a 4 hour time frame here, string trade. If it goes, sorry. With this one, my risk reward has increased, but my first TP will still be 2 to 1. My first TP will still be 2 to 1, which is here. That's how I come about that first TP. So this week we are now waiting for market to take our first TP or take our stop loss. Then this one here, if you go to a more lower time frame, see, let's come to 1 hour time frame. You see the reason. I decided not to put it on the low for a reason. I decided to, because there's a fair value gap here, and this is another block with a fair value gap, so I'm waiting here. Any my price gets here, even if it doesn't want to go. Maybe. But I'm saying it. If price gets here, it won't add for me, I can close everything because that is my 2 to 1. That is normal, my normal trade. That is my normal risk to reward. That's my normal risk to reward. So that is that on GBPUSD. So when price open, when market open rather this evening, or today is Sunday, this evening around 10, let me say just 11, because around 10 market will just do some funny things. Then by 11, 12, you can start looking at the price. When market opens, you see how this happens. If it goes our directions this week, but note that we have already observed our change of character, which confirms my analysis. At this point, I have completely done my part. Whatever is left is no longer mine. It's for market. Confirmations I have seen, there is nothing I can do about this trade again. By my strategy, there is nothing I can do. Market is at my zone. On the 4 hours, it gave me a bearish engulfing candle, a very strong one. All I need to see is an engulfing candle at my golden zone. Once I see engulfing candle at my golden zone, does it concern me if it breaks structure? Does it break structure? I go in. That is my confirmation. Engulfing candle, evening star, change of character, those are confirmations. Here we have gotten the 4 hour time frame, we got a bearish engulfing candle. On the 1 hour time frame, we have a change of character. On the 15-minute time frame, let's come to 15-minute. Make it no be like say we don't do them all around. If you see do like this finish at the end, you see chop loss. Market says if you run from nothing on Friday, on the end of a Friday, you see chop loss. So that one I know I'm ready for, because I know it happens, because I've back tested it and I've seen it happen. So this is it. This is a high, this is a high, a low, a high, a low, a higher high. So market was supposed to do golden zone here, put up another high. It tries to pull back, but it could change of character. Even 15 minutes, we confirm change of character, which means that what we can do as long as this trade is concerned, we have done it. We have analyzed, we have seen confirmations at our zone, and I have taken this trade since on Friday. I'm on this trade since on Friday. It triggers me in on Friday. I'm just waiting for market to just go according to plan this week. If it does, glory be to God. But if it not go my way, glory be to God too.